What is up, everybody? It is Voodoo 51292 here, and welcome finally to full HD. It's been basically 2 years since I've been on YouTube, and a little bit less than that, but about 2 years, and finally, for the first time ever, you're seeing me in full 1080p HD. So, I guess a hello to all of you from HD. And yeah, so what a great day it is. This video is actually going to be a channel update, and it's going to cover 2 weeks. It's actually going to cover, well, it's really going to cover, yeah, I guess channel update for this week that's basically almost gone since I didn't do a channel update for this week, and one for next week coming up, as well as a look at 2 weeks ago. So it's a long freaking update, and I actually have to look at the calendar because, as usual, I started the video without being prepared, and I need to look at the dates. So this channel update is from Monday, Monday, December 24th, which was Christmas Eve, through Sunday, January the 6th of 2013. Of course, the January date's in 2013. And it's going to be a very long one. It's going to be one of the longest channel updates I've probably ever done, simply because I have so much to talk about. There's so much for me to explain to everyone about what's been happening, where I've been, what's coming up. I mean, there's a lot of stuff to talk about here because I've been gone for a while, and I feel like, I owe everybody some explanations. So I guess the first thing that we'll do is we'll talk about a couple weeks ago why there was no footage, the week of the Mayan apocalypse, because I had promised everybody that there was going to be some footage that week, that there was going to actually be a little bit of Assassin's Creed 3 gameplay, along with some Black Ops 2 on the Mayan apocalypse day to celebrate. And as you have noticed, probably, there was neither. So let me explain why, okay? The reason there was no Assassin's Creed 3 footage is twofold. Number one, I was really into Far Cry 3 still at that point, and I really wanted to continue to play Far Cry 3 and to beat the single player of Far Cry 3, which I actually did. So I'm good to review it, except that I need to play the multiplayer and co-op modes of it before I can completely review the game. So I did that, and then I also really wanted to wait for the HD. I figured that, if I was going to wait that long to continue my playthroughs, I might as well wait till I had the HD so I could kind of premiere the return of the gameplay with the HD. So that's kind of why I wanted to wait on Assassin's Creed 3, before. As far as the Black Ops 2 stuff on the 21st, the reason I didn't do that was because I had actually really hoped that people would contact me and wanted to play with me on that day on the PlayStation 3. That was kind of the whole reason I was doing it, was I wanted to see if I could play with some viewers, because I haven't done that in literally like over a year, where I sat down and played with somebody online who wanted to play with me. Unfortunately, I didn't get any takers, and I think that there was probably a lot of reasons for that. Number one is probably because I'm playing it on the PlayStation 3, and I understand most people, I'm sure, got Black Ops 2 on the 360, because it makes more sense, it's easier to play. And another reason was a lot of people were probably waiting to get that game for Christmas, so they didn't have the game on the 21st yet to play it. And unfortunately, when I didn't get anybody to play with on that day, and my friends actually wound up coming over on that day, so it was really crowded in here, wouldn't have been easy to film. I just said, I've done a lot of Black Ops, and I'm just not as crazy about it now as I used to be when I first got into it. It's, the original Black Ops. Now it's kind of starting to wear on me a little bit. And I did actually try to play a couple of matches, and found myself just getting really mad and frustrated with it because I was just not doing well, and the connections were kind of bad, so I just didn't do it on that day, to be perfectly honest. So that's why there was no footage a couple weeks ago, okay? Now to get to some real explanations as to where I've been, why I haven't done a channel update for this week, or anything like that, is because I've actually been pretty sick. I got sick over last weekend, the weekend before Christmas, and I've been sick pretty much all week. I'm still not over it. I'm still coughing and right on cue, and I'm still not 100%. I was sick on Christmas. I've been sick all week. So unfortunately, I have not been able to make a video or do any gameplay or anything like that because I've been sick. So that's where I've been and why you haven't heard from me. Now, you know, it hasn't necessarily been a huge deal because I wouldn't have really had much of a chance to do any gameplay this week anyway yet. But, you know, I still think that people have probably been wondering where I've been and why I haven't made a video. Especially with the HD, because that was, you know, going to be a big thing and all that other stuff. So, that's where I've been. Now, as far as the HD camera is concerned, that the one I'm using right now, the one I'm going to use going forward, it's been kind of a circus as far as this camera is concerned. And let me explain it to you in the most condensed, best way I know how, to maybe give you some perspective on why I really haven't had this HD camera situation settled till just today. So let me explain. On Christmas Day, I actually got this camera that I'm using right now, the Sony HX20. I was going to call it HX20 for short. It's a CyberShot. It's from the CyberShot line of Sony. Shoots in full 1280, as you can tell. It has a bunch of cool stuff. It's all great. So I got the camera. I was excited about it. I set it up to do some test footage. And what I realized about this camera was a couple of unfortunate things. Number one, there is no way to actually manually adjust the focus when you're filming a movie. It's all autofocus. Now, on my old Handycam that I've been using for 2 years, you had that ability. Also, you cannot manually adjust the brightness of the camera after you've started recording a video. So you can adjust it all you want while you're not recording, but once you start recording, you're stuck with that brightness. Now, what I was noticing was, because of the focusing problems on the camera, when I would film the TV, it would autofocus in so crisply that it would actually be showing lines on the television. And it does that if you're shooting in HD on an HD TV, and the focus is that fine, it's going to show lines on the television. And I was cycling through the scene modes. I found one scene mode, which is firework mode, which doesn't seem to show the lines on the TV. And that's what I was using, and I filmed a couple of test gameplay footage, but when I looked at it, I noticed that it didn't seem to be focused 100% as crisply as I would like it to be, and I didn't like the fact that you couldn't adjust the brightness on the fly. So I said, okay, well, you know, in my mind that wasn't a big issue. Like, you know, it should be easy to find another camera that has those two things. My thinking, because my old Sony Handycam from years ago had those two features, so I figured that certainly, you know, this time, you know, in the future, they definitely would have that capabilities on other cameras. So we actually wound up bringing this camera and returning it. And then my dad and I went on a wild goose chase all over town looking for cameras that could do the manual focus and could do brightness adjustments on the fly. And what we found out is that with these types of cameras, those features really aren't offered. You have to step up a whole class, like the SLR kinds of cameras, which are the ones that are more of the cinema kind of cameras that you can take the lenses off of and all that other kind of stuff. And you know, that kind of surprised me a bit. So our intention was to go back and just get this camera back and just make it work. And when we went to Best Buy yesterday, we were going to do that, and then my dad started asking how much was the cheapest SLR camera that they offered, and they had one on sale for a reasonable price. So I kind of got sucked in and said okay, and we got that camera. And I came home and I was testing it out, and bottom line was it was one of the Canon Rebel shots or whatever they're called. That camera was just way too overcomplicated. I mean, it was extremely professional, and it was way too complex and complicated. It could do the manual focus, but it was with the lens, not just on the, little dial on the screen or anything like that. And it was extremely complicated, and I said, I don't think this is going to work out either, because it's just too much. It's way too professional. It's way overqualified for what I want to do. So, in the end, we went back today, finally, and we turned that one back in, and we've got this original camera back. So I now have the Sony HX20, and this is the camera I'm going to be using. And I will deal with the fact that, with the manual focus not being able to really do it, and the brightness, I'll just make it a point to get the brightness as perfect as I can get it before, I start recording. And I'll make it work like I did with the other camera. The test shots that I did really did look good, and what I have to understand in my head is that I'm still filming with a camera, and really the only way that I'm going to get a perfect shot is if I were to use direct capture or something like that straight from the television. That's the only way I'm going to get it to be perfect. I can't expect it to be 100% perfect still filming with a camera, but for what it was, I put a shot of Black Ops that I'd taken with my old Handycam up to a Black Ops match I recorded with this camera on 1280, and it was night and day. I mean, this camera, obviously, no questions about it, shoots a much more beautiful picture than the other one ever could. And so I'm going to make it work, and this is the camera I'm going to use, okay? And I'm going to be attempting to film all my videos in 1280. It also records in MP4 format, which is very compatible with the Mac computer that I have, so I can easily move that over and video edit if need be, do all that kind of good stuff. So it's going to work out really nicely. I'm really excited about it now that I have it, and I understand that this is really going to kind of be a perfect camera for me, even though it doesn't have a couple features I wish it did have. So that's been kind of the circus that we've been going around to get this HD camera, and in the end we actually wound up with what we had all along. I have a couple extra batteries for it. I have two 16 gigabyte memory cards with it. I actually got a brand new tripod to go with it. What I'm using right now is actually a professional grade tripod, because the other one I had really wasn't too great, and it was actually not even balanced. Like, the legs weren't the same length. When I would extend all the legs, it would be leaning to one side. So I got a brand new tripod to use with it too. So I'm excited about it. So HD is finally here for the 2013 year and beyond, hopefully, which is cool and very exciting for me to finally be, fully HD compatible. So more or less, that's where I've been. I haven't really been 100% healthy yet this Christmas break. I had my surgery, and then as soon as I was getting 100% from my surgery, I got this sickness for the past week. So health-wise, I haven't been 100% really this whole break, which kind of sucks, but it is what it is. I actually got my stitches out yesterday from my surgery, which was quite painful, I have to say, but those are gone now, so the surgery is complete. Everything went really well, and hopefully soon I can get over this sickness so I can enjoy New Year's, because I really couldn't enjoy Christmas very much because I was pretty sick, which kind of sucked. But we'll see what happens. So that's the deal. That's what's been going on. That's kind of the lowdown. So as far as games now, let me just check the time here on the camera. That's another thing that actually, okay, almost 14 minutes, so I got through it without taking too long. That's another bad thing about this camera. Well, it's not a bad thing, but inconvenient thing is that on the previous camera, I had a screen that you could flip out and turn and face toward yourself, so you could see what, you could see the time on it and everything like that, and you could see yourself like taking a self-portrait. I can't do that with this camera because the screen's on the back, so I have to get up and go around to see the time on it. But anyway, let's talk about games now. Finally, games. It's looking like right now the next time I'm gonna have the chance to return to gameplay is going to be after the New Year. So on or after New Year's Day is my target to when I can return to gameplay. And if you hear background noise, that's my baby niece who's here. But because as I just mentioned, she's here, so we're visiting with her a lot. And then New Year's, I'm going to be celebrating. I actually have a party here at my house on New Year's Eve to celebrate, and so, probably not going to be able to get a chance to return to playthroughs till that point. Now, I have to be honest with everybody, okay, because of the delays and my sickness and all this other kind of stuff, I really don't foresee myself being able to film and finish all 4 of those games that I need to finish, because they're all very long, and it looks like I'm going to have to cut one of them out from filming, okay? So, my thoughts are this. My thoughts are I'm considering the one to not film to be Assassin's Creed 3, okay? And there's a couple reasons, alright? Number one, I think of all the games I have left, talking Borderlands 2, Darksiders 2, Dishonored, and Assassin's Creed 3, I think out of all 4, that would probably make the least entertaining playthrough to watch, okay? Because I feel like Assassin's Creed is more of a game that is more fun to play it than to watch it, because I can understand where it would be potentially slow, slow going watching that on a playthrough, okay? Another reason is I probably, of all the games, have the longest to go on that one. I probably have the most amount of footage still to do on Assassin's Creed 3. I figure it would probably be easier and better for me. It wouldn't back up my uploads, and it would be more entertaining if I played Assassin's Creed 3 off camera. Okay, that's my thinking as of right now, especially because I've played it like 4 hours, and it's been kind of boring up until this point. I can't imagine it's been fun to watch. So that's my thoughts. So I'm thinking of finishing and filming the conclusions of Dishonored, which is a game that I am loving. I cannot wait to get back to that game. Darksiders 2, because I only have about 3 to 4 hours, I think, of that game left. So one good day of gameplay, and I can beat Darksiders 2 in like a day. And Borderlands 2, because that game is good fun. I'm really enjoying that game. That's a silly game. I think it's a fun playthrough to watch, okay? Those are the 3 games I'm considering doing right now, and I think I definitely want to do Dishonored first. I want to go back to Dishonored and play it. I think it's going to look amazing on the new camera with the graphic design and everything, and I really, really enjoyed that game, and I want to get back to it, and I'm excited to play it again. So my thinking is that after the new year, next week sometime, which, by the way, is why I'm making the channel update for next week, now, because I'm not going to really have an opportunity this weekend or early in the week because of New Year's and everything like that. My thinking is that at that point, I will resume my playthrough of Dishonored. Now, I'm actually going back to school in not that much time. I go back on the 14th. So actually 2 weeks from the 1st, so 2 weeks from Tuesday, New Year's Day, I'll be actually going back to school. But that's okay, because it's really more centered on when the next games come out that I'll be filming than it is, when I go back to school. And I believe Dead Space 3, which is a game I do want to film for next year, I believe that comes out in February at some point. So I still have some time. I definitely think I can get through those 3 games, if I cut Assassin's Creed 3 out. So those are my plans right now. Let me know what you think. Give me feedback, and we'll go from there. As far as the podcast, the ritual that I'm doing for 2013, there's a possibility that this week coming up, we will do that podcast for you. Because it will be 2013, I'll be implementing all my new changes that I've talked so much about, and the podcast is one of those new things I'd like to start up. So there's a good chance that episode 1 of The Ritual, my brand new podcast, will premiere sometime this week. I'd like to do that if I can do it. So stay up to date with me on Twitter, and I will, I'll let you know the status of that, okay? And that's pretty much all I really need to say. I hope everybody had a happy holidays, a Merry Christmas. I hope people weren't sick like I was, unfortunately, because it really sucks. To be sick during Christmas and the holidays, but nothing I could really do about that. So I hope everybody enjoyed themselves and were healthy. I really want to thank everybody who stayed with me this far. I'm very excited about the new year 2013 on my channel, especially with the HD. The changes I'm going to make, I think it's going to be really positive, and I hope that everybody, is excited about the year coming up like I am. We have some really great games on the way. I think it's going to be really positive for the channel. So let me know, too, in the comments of this video what you think of the new camera, of the new video quality. Not only video quality, but sound quality, because this camera actually shoots in stereo sound, whereas the other one shot in mono, so the sound quality should be much better. The colors, everything should just be amazingly better on this camera. So let me know in the comments what you think about this HD, because I'm interested to see. And yeah, I hope everybody has a really happy new year coming up. Stay safe, don't do anything stupid. You don't want to start off a new year doing something stupid. So everybody be safe, have fun, enjoy the new year, and I will see everybody. Another thing is, I'm actually probably going to be doing some test footage at some point with this new camera on Black Ops 2, just because it's the easiest thing to do. Maybe tonight or a little bit later in the week, I'm not real sure. If I do that test footage, I will most likely be uploading that. And if I do upload the test footage, I really, really would appreciate it if you guys would leave feedback on that test footage and let me know how you think it looks, and if you like it, if you don't like it, whatever. Please let me know so I can accurately judge whether or not, I'm doing a good job with the camera, with the settings and all that kind of stuff. So let me know what you think of the new camera. I'm excited to see everybody's reaction to it. And is there anything else? Anything else to say? I always feel like I'm forgetting something, but I guess not. So again, Happy New Year, everybody. Look for possible test footage, possible episode 1 of The Ritual, and the continuation of the Dishonored playthrough, which will be coming up some point later this upcoming week, okay? This is the first stuff of 2013, and the first gameplay in HD, really, or first game playthrough I'll be doing in HD, so pretty cool. Alright guys, thank you very much, and I will see everybody later this week. I gotta find the stop recording button. Here it is.